Benders postgame begins now, presented by the InsideTheRink.com. Go there for Bruins content and Benders merch. Click the thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notifications. The Bruins, boy, drop a heartbreaker, choke job, whatever you want to call it. 5-4 in overtime to the Pittsburgh Penguins. This time a loser point, so you get a point, but still another road loss. The Bruins have only won 11 road games in regulation this season. This was a game that you're up 3-0. No Crosby, no Malkin, no Brazo. I mean, this is a game where the Bruins pretty much have to win, just not only because of the playoff situation, but because of how badly you played on the road. And you play like really good, I don't know, period and a half or so, like really good. And it's 3-0. Playing a good road game. Then you take 2 penalties. You go down 5-on-3. Chinakhov has all the time in the world. Red hot player. Fires at home. And it just starts to go south from there. And it's just, again, mediocre teams. This is kind of what they do.
No excuse to lose this game. None. No excuse.
None.
This is two road games that they've pissed away. Like the Stadium Series game, pissed away. You were up 5-1. NHL clubs up by 3 and 4 goals should not lose games ever.
Ever.
Like you pissed it away. And you know, you're going to come back and look at these 2 games and say, oh, if we missed the playoffs by 3 points, there it was. Those 2 games. You had easily in hand leads late in games of both of them. You know, that one was late in the second, the Stadium Series game. This one was, you know, whatever, mid-second. Big leads. You pissed it away. You just can't fucking do it. You just can't. Korpisalo needs to make a save. They got saves out of Shilov's, some important ones, when the game was kind of hanging in the balance. Korpisalo, you know, it was another one of those games where he's in, you know, the 850s or whatever. I mean, Pittsburgh had some good chances, but so did Boston.
Yeah.
And you know, especially on the power play. But, you know, you just can't, there's just no excuse to lose this game. Like they gave up a goal. They're still up 2 and they're running around like they've never fucking played hockey before.
I know.
They just lose all defensive structure. Then they give up 2 goals in 33 seconds and it's tied. And then Sturm takes a timeout. I would have liked to see it after it went to 3-2, honestly.
Sure.
And say, let's get our fucking heads out of our asses here collectively. You know, you get beat down the ice. You know, Aspero's kind of trying to hold the guy off, and he throws a backhand top shelf. I'd take it then at 3-2.
Yes.
You know, you need to regroup. Try to stem the tide before it gets out of hand, and then 30 fucking seconds later, it's out of hand. And now you're chasing it. And then when Zacha scores, I'm like, okay, you know, settle the fuck down and let's ride this thing out and win it. But they can't do it on the road. They can't do it. They're incapable of winning road games. And so you're incapable of making the playoffs if you can't win a motherfucking road game with a 3-goal lead or a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, I don't think enough coaches use the timeout liberally a little bit. You know, use it first period, second period, whenever you think the wheels are falling off, or your team needs a tongue bath or whatever it is. Like I would take one every once in a while. Like too many of them kind of save it for the last draw up with 40 seconds left off the face-off. Like I'd rather someone, you know, a coach take one when it feels like the momentum has completely changed and you haven't played well on the road and you really need to kind of win this game and get as many points as you can. You're in the thick of it. You're playing another playoff team and, you know, you're on the road against a team that's overachieved as you have, but, it, you know, has all sorts of momentum all of a sudden. I'd like to take one there. Sure. And it was a missed call in overtime on the interference. Of course there is, but you also put yourself in that position.
Yeah, I mean,
look, overtime.
Yeah, I mean, you had possession of the puck, and McAvoy turns it over, just loses it along the wall. Like you can't do that. Like he wasn't great tonight. He wasn't great. That pair tonight wasn't great. I think Apricots is turning back into a pumpkin a little bit. on the ice for a bunch of goals against. You can debate whether or not Mantha at the side of the net was McAvoy's guy or Apricot's guy. Sure. Neither one of them was fucking near him. I think McAvoy was covering a guy higher on the wall and was kind of sagging in. I think that was Apricot's guy down low, but they didn't communicate. So either way, somebody is at fault there. Fault the entire defense if you want to, but that pair had a rough game.
It did. And again, looking at the positive, the Zacha line has just been terrific, and for much of the year, been the best line in many games. Yeah. Especially lately. I mean, Zacha's been really, really good. He's hat trick. He's got 19 goals. It's lining up for him nicely as he goes into the last year of his contract next year. And Viktor Arvidsson is probably ready to hold him over a barrel. He's been one of the best. The two of them have been among the best forwards they have in the last however many games. And that line really drives things. It gets the bulk of the chances. It keeps them in games. It gets big goals. And it's basically Arvidsson and Zacha with a little bit of Middlestat, but those two guys have been great. Now you have to decide. I mean, are you moving forward with those guys, or do you risk the chance of hanging on to them a little too long, or giving them a little bit too much money, or giving them a little bit too much term, and not liking that contract down the road?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the choices that the team will have to make. It is. It's one of the choices they'll have, and it's not an easy decision because right now they're some of the best players on the team, like you said. So just jettison guys off because they're a little older or up for free agency. I don't know if that's a great decision for this team. Like, there's some of your best forwards. Like, you get rid of those guys, then what do you have left? Not much.
No.
The secondary scoring almost will disappear completely. So, if you can't sign any big name, big ticket guys, like, those are guys that you probably want to have around, I would say.
Right.
Based on how they're playing. I mean, who's to know whether Arvidsson will continue this once he gets his contract? It hasn't seemed to happen other places. Like, yeah, he's a 20-goal guy, but he's playing for his contract right now. He's playing for his life. So, guys usually tend to play a little better, a little harder in their contract years. It's just human nature. So,
and now he's feeling pretty good about, as the lines come together, they're gelling well, they're playing confidently. He's playing as confident as ever. I mean, he's just, everything he does seems to be really positive on the ice. He's extremely noticeable out there, and it's becoming every night. Now, have there been guys who've 36, 37, 38 years old perform well? Yeah, there have been guys who've done that. You just have to determine, will this guy do that? And will this guy do that at a rate where you're going to give him 3 or 4 years down the road? And now he's 37. What does that look like? How much is it? And that sort of thing. But right now, they're, a big time positive on this team, and they're playing really, really well together. Makes it hard to kind of break the thing up and send a Middlestat somewhere or kick the tires on a Zacha. Or one guy I really wanted to talk about as far as that thing in the offseason is Hampus Lindholm, and what you might think happens with him. I mean, his contract isn't terrible. It gets kind of not as bad as we go forward. It's 6.5, whatever it is, 6.5, 6.
6.5, yeah,
6.5. So, even if you retained $1 million or whatever it is to try to get a little sweetener in the deal, do you consider that? I mean, is that one of the guys that people aren't really considering? Do you consider that in the offseason?
I think you have to. I do. I think he's lost a step. I think he's a little bit injury prone. He got blown by Erik Karlsson. I mean, he's a world-class skater, but still blown by on the outside for a chance. He just looks sluggish. I don't know if he's dealing with something. Maybe he is. Maybe he's got a groin or a lower body injury that he's been dealing with. But he looks sluggish. And he's got an injury history. So, he's starting to get up there in years. So all those things add up to me. And I think you look to deal him maybe. And if you do retain a little bit, maybe you can get a little better return. But, I think that's a conversation to be had. He's not right now a net positive out there, I don't think. Like he's fine for the most part. Like he doesn't hurt you every night. I mean, he still takes the slashing penalty or the stick for infraction almost nightly. So I guess that hurts you. But other than that, you don't notice him making glaring defensive mistakes. But he's not really giving you the transition game you would have hoped, because his skating was a big part of that. You know, he's not grabbing the puck and making a great outlet pass. Like he'll break up a play here and there, but I think his skating is a little bit of a liability right now. And
I would say so.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, that makes it so that, you know, I think you should see what's out there to see if maybe you can improve that spot.
Now, here's the good news. You did get a point today, so you got one less point than you wanted to, but you still got a point.
Sure.
3 points ahead of Columbus. You've played one more game than they have. You have 2 road games against them coming up. You're 5 points up on Ottawa, and also just behind Montreal at 77 points, or Detroit at 77 points. So you're still very much in it. And here's some good news. You go home to play the Kings and the Sharks, and then you have a road game on Saturday at Washington. So a chance to get 5 or 6 points here this week and still stay ahead of the curve, still stay up ahead of it. And again, and I don't mean to burst Andrew Pedro's bubble, who says I should stop crying about the team. I do think that all we have is to root for them to make the playoffs, because they didn't make any moves. There's so many decisions to be made in the offseason. James Higgins is coming probably late in the season. See what that looks like. So all we have right now is to try to root for them to make the playoffs. They have a Toronto pick potentially that could be fairly high. So it's not like if they lose their draft position, they don't potentially have a good spot to pick from. So right now, I feel almost like it's a bonus year. Like everything's gravy, and just to try to root for them to make the playoffs, and then maybe that first round series is highly entertaining. If it's anything like today, then it's worth it to make the playoffs and to watch that, even if they lose or whatever it is. I mean, that's entertaining, and we should be rooting for that.
Yeah, it's entertaining for everyone else. They didn't give up a fucking 3-goal lead.
Right.
I mean, and Andrew Pedro, like, we're supposed to be sunshine and rainbows after they coughed one up and they've won 11 road games all season long. They're supposed to blow smoke up their ass. They have 11 fucking road wins, dude. 11. Yeah. And they just gave up a fucking 3-goal lead to a team that, you know, was without Crosby and Malkin. They should have blown that team out of the water. 3-0 should have turned into 5-0, should have turned into a 6-1, and they're rolling 4 lines. Everybody's fresh, feeling good. Everybody's confident. But no, they can't fucking defend on the road. So you end up with this bullshit, and you lose a point that you shouldn't have lost. You can say, yeah, we got the loser point, and, you know, that's not too bad. And, you know, you did okay over the weekend. You got 3 out of 4 points. That's great. You should have had 4. I don't give a shit about the other extra point that you lost. You should have had 4 points, and you didn't fucking get it. So that's a loss in my mind. This is a loss. This is not you didn't get a point, and you should be feeling good about it. You lost the game, game that you should have won. Yeah. So that's 1 point less than you should have had when this, you know, when the game fucking started or whatever.
Yeah, that's a 2-pointer that gets you tied with Detroit. And you're not far from Atlantic Division, you know, 2nd or 3rd place spot. Like, you're not far from being, you know, in the playoffs and not in that wild card thing. Like, you can still get that thing too. So
yeah. If they could win a game on the road that they should have take care of business, yeah, you could get there.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to win a road game the rest of this season?
I don't know. How many did I have left? I don't know.
12. After today, 11, I believe.
11 road games?
I think. They have like 8 home games and 11 road games, I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Let's go through them and see. All right. So you had Washington Saturday.
Yeah. Do you think they'll win that one? After they beat Washington at home this last game?
If I had to bet,
yeah,
I would say no.
Yeah, okay.
At the Devils, they might win.
Maybe.
At Montreal, no.
Nope.
At Detroit, no.
Nope.
At Buffalo,
Nope.
at Columbus,
Nope.
at Florida.
Nope.
Depends on where Florida is and if they're mailing it in and shelved a bunch of guys. The Tampa Bay.
Florida likes to shove it up your ass, so they'll be up to that game and they'll beat you.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, no.
Nope.
Second of a back-to-back will be Philadelphia that weekend. At Philly. Maybe.
Usually play well in Philly, but who knows?
Maybe. At that point, and of course now, we're not quite sure where they are in the standings either.
No.
At Carolina.
No.
And then at Columbus. Boy, that's a lot of good road. That's a lot of good teams on the road.
Yeah. So you have the potential to win 2 out of 11.
Yeah.
Is that going to get you in? Should we be sunshine and rainbows about this? Should we be excited about where they are right now?
I'm fairly certain that doesn't get you in.
I don't think so. I don't think 2 road wins in the last 11 is going to get you in. So
I don't think so. Here's the good news.
This one was a pretty big game after all.
Here's the good news. The Kings, Sharks, Jets, Maple Leafs, all at home. The next 4 home games are those 4 teams. So you have a chance to win all 4 of those.
You should win those games.
You should.
The thing is, they'll probably lose one of those games too.
Probably because they won 12 in a row at home.
Yeah.
And you're not going to win 20 in a row at home, probably.
Right.
So you're probably going to cough one of those up. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. That many road games against that many quality teams it doesn't make me feel great.
It shouldn't.
And it shouldn't make the team feel great about it either. That's something. So here's something I thought while I was watching the game, because I don't have any hair to pull out, so I just randomly think of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's a thought about the whole Sweeney saying they deserved to get a piece or deserved to buy or deserved whatever they deserve. Do you think he put that out there partly because it's true, but also partly because now because he couldn't make any moves, he really wants to make the playoffs, because if he does make the playoffs with this team, then it's a positive, it's a bonus, and he gets some ticket gates and he kind of appeases management a little bit, and he can say, look, we went from a disaster and trading 6 guys away at the deadline last year to making the playoffs after all these moves we made. Even though it's probably not your natural growth of a program, it's probably a one-off. You're just kind of winning with this band of misfits. But if he makes it kind of buys some time. So now he doesn't sell off pieces, partly because he says, you know what? We should just I need to make a run of this, see if we can make the playoffs with this team.
Yeah, I think he's probably trying to make the playoffs with this team. I would have liked,
even after they said that they don't just want to make it to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that for a second.
I don't believe that either.
Yeah, no. So yeah, he can talk. I mean, he talks out of both sides of his mouth all the time. So that's placating the fan base. That's placating the guys who go and spend all their money and buy all the beers and go to the games. And the Bruins fan base is loyal. So if he says we're trying to make the playoffs, that's trying to placate the people that go and to TD Garden and spend all the money. He's trying to.
Yeah, I think that's true. I just wonder what they don't make it 2 in a row. Next year I just don't think this plan he has involves missing the playoffs 3 years in a row. I don't think that no one survives that with the Bruins. Nobody has.
I don't think they want to miss the playoffs. I don't think they want to rebuild. I don't think
they don't. Or they would have.
Yeah. So yeah, I think his plan is to make the playoffs, and if this team gets him there, great. If it doesn't, he'll it looks like he's already running the damn thing back because he's got everybody signed. Except for
signed.
Guys.
Yeah.
So I guess they make a couple of additions somewhere. I tell you what, if it's only James Higgins, if he's the only addition to the team, that's not enough.
That's not going to happen. That's
not enough. So,
but how about this?
We'll see where that goes.
Wait, do you think we're wrong? You think, because we could be wrong. Do you think we're wrong? I don't, but I'm asking you. If they add a fairly impactful forward, impactful defenseman,
Mhm.
that they actually could make a run next year. Do you think that this team's a little bit better than we give them credit for overall? It's not just kind of fluky. It is a little bit better than we think. And if they add a couple of impactful players, that they'll be closer than we think.
No, I don't think they're better than we think. I think it is a little bit fluky. I think their defense still has a ton of holes. I think they still give up way too many high danger chances. They got outshot by a lot in the third period today. I don't think they have enough foot speed as a team. I think their defense is still leaky as fuck. And when they don't get good goaltending, it shows up badly. So, they need to really, really, really like fix that defense, like rein that thing in. Like they need to get back to Claude or whatever the case may be defensively, whether it's, not trying to transition as quickly so they don't turn his pucks over as much. I don't know what the answer is to that thing, but if they don't shore the defense up, it doesn't really matter who they bring in offensively. Yeah, they'll be a little bit better. It might be a little more entertaining. The games might be 6-5 instead of 5-4 or 4-3. But unless they clean up the defense, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Like their goalies, if the goalies don't play well, they don't win.
Yeah, I think they changed the makeup of the defense next year. I think they in the offseason. I think they do. I think they have to, because they can't find like top 6 talent to add. They have to be defensive in goaltending. They have to. And they can't give up. They can't let their goaltenders hang out to dry as much as they have. They just can't do it. So if they can shore that thing up, then their goaltenders statistically are better all of a sudden. And then your defense is better. And you're winning lower scoring tight games because you can do that thing. And right now they want to be defensive, goaltending out, but they really aren't, because they're way too sporadic, erratic, all those things when it comes to defense. Sometimes they'll have a really good period or two or a really good game or two. Then all of a sudden, like today, it just implodes in a matter of 2 minutes.
That's part of the reason they can't hold leads. It's part of the reason they can't hold leads is because they're so poor defensively. Like the awareness on that tying goal was brutal.
Oh, like that was a long diagonal to another long diagonal to a goal.
Yeah,
and that was like traffic cones out there.
Yeah, like Aspro's on the wrong side, and the puck goes to the other side, and the guy Mantha has an easy break in, like easy. That it was way, way, way too easy. Like that can't happen. No, if you consider yourself a good defensive team, like that can't happen. You can't have that big of a lapse just after you've given up a goal. You just can't do it. So unless they clean things up defensively, it's going to be the same old story. It's going to be the same thing we've seen in the last 3-4 years. Look, their defense has slipped a lot since Cassidy was, here.
Oh, a lot. It has
really gone downhill. Mm-hmm. The high danger chances against and just shot volume against, turnovers, all that stuff has really fallen off since Cassidy left, and they still haven't gotten it back. I don't know when they will. I don't know if they will. I don't know if it's roster players changing. I don't know if it's, the tweak to what they do defensively. I mean, Sturm's tried to do that some, but I still don't think they totally grasp it. They have problems communicating and passing guys off to each other, or just getting beat with foot speed. You see Erik Karlsson beat somebody wide. You see guys getting picked in the D zone and guys walking in, free. That happens way too much. They need to be better in their own zone, or it's going to be the same old shit.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand, if you want a great skating team, how you can play one-on-one like that, man-to-man. Like I don't chasing guys around, and it hurt Andrew Peeke for one. It's hard for them to do that. Hampus Lindholm stick fouls everybody because it's hard for him to keep up. How about Elias Lindholm has a chance at a breakaway, and if he has any legs, he goes in alone. Mm-hmm. But it looked like his feet were tied together. Like it was just like painful to watch him try to accelerate, and he couldn't get there. And he tumbles down his ass, and like it was just painful. He can't accelerate at all. He can't skate.
That's the difference between really good teams in today's NHL and teams like the Bruins.
Yes,
like the Bruins just don't have anybody outside of maybe Nutty that has any kind of real foot speed.
Yeah,
they really don't.
Like
maybe Arvidsson a little bit. Pastrnak not really a world class, speed guy. None of the forwards really are, and they don't really have it on defense. Like Apricots is a pretty good skater. McAvoy's a pretty good skater, and Zadorov, once he gets going,
can accelerate.
It takes them a while to accelerate. So they really have a lack of foot speed, and it's going to cost. It costs against fast teams like Detroit. They struggle against because of that. Edmonton, struggle against because of that. Like Colorado struggle against because of that. Like all the teams with good foot speed, they struggle against because they can't keep up one-on-one.
Right. Gordov, Nutty is who's Nutdinov.
There you go.
We call him. We're the only ones who call him Nutty. Everybody calls
Everybody
him
else call him
Hoozy and whatever. We call him Nutty.
Yeah.
Because it's cooler.
Yeah.
Benders Banter presented.
Connor wanted to talk. Yeah.
Just quickly, I will say that I rewatched all of the Sweeney presser after the deadline, and he mentioned specifically that Lucas Reichel, one of the reasons they added him, is to increase the team speed, and then assigned him to the AHL.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say team speed in Providence. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, look.
He's a reclamation. He's a reclamation guy. Yeah. He's going to be one of those. They think they got another in a bottle. They do. Yeah. They think it.
And I mean, if you'll indulge quick, I had another thought earlier when you guys talked about missing the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think after a sell-off last year and holding pat with what you have this season, that the Jacobs have a no and are, have been told whatever the plan is and are okay if the Bruins don't make the playoffs this year?
I think they're okay if they don't make it this year, but I think
that was part of the deal.
They can't miss 3 years in a row.
No, I think that it's true.
To be honest with you, from the perspective of Sweeney or like the assets, right? If you were going and trading any of the first round picks from this year, that kind of gets scary because now you're looking at it where you could end up with the 6 through the 10 pick and another pick, 10 through 15.
Yeah, possibly if they fall out of it.
Sure. I mean, I think the plan for him was, look, we're going to be selling these guys off, and then next year is going to be, we're going to try to get a good veteran team in here. We're going to try to, we think we can still do some things, have an entertaining product, and we're going to have James Hagan or whatever. I think that was the plan, but I just don't see that the Jacobs would okay like 3 years in a row with no playoff gates. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why they would stick with that. I don't. So maybe they do. Maybe that's why they raise the prices to kind of supplement that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the math is there, but maybe they, will raise the prices a little bit more so that we can supplement that thing. I don't know. Add Lady Gaga, add a third show. I don't know.
That's interesting. Raising the tickets to the regular season prices to offset the fact that you don't get playoff dates.
They're going to have to raise some other prices too now that KPD got that $5 beer super popular.
Yeah. It's almost, he gets sent to the principal's office. It's almost like he's waiting every little subtle move. Yeah, there's a $5 beer guy. Chase him down the fucking concourse. I just don't see it happening where I think that a lot of people thought they wouldn't make the playoffs this year. And if they did, it would be like this, like at, 11th hour, maybe if things fell right. And let's be honest, other than McAvoy getting hurt for a bit, things have gone pretty well for the Bruins. Like it's the things that we said they needed to have. Goaltending needed to steal them games, and they have at times. Largely healthy. Like McAvoy was out a bunch, but largely healthy. Pastrnak missed 5 games. But other than that, like not a lot of injury to key players. So
No.
it's been kind of things have gone right for them, and also the opponents weren't nearly as good. There was like a handful of opponents who weren't nearly as good as you thought they were. So that helped too. So things kind of fell right for them. But I don't think they went into the season thinking that they're a surefire playoff team. I don't think that at all. I think whatever plan Sweeney's talking about, which I still don't know what it is, that involved probably not making the playoffs. I think that was talked about with management. Like, look, be prepared. We probably won't make it next year either, but we're going to show some improvement. In the following year, we're going to have a much better team. I think that's probably how it was approached. So, now Sweeney's like, hey, let's re-up everybody because we're really close to making it, and a couple of moves or Hagens or somebody, and we'll make it next year too. So I don't know, because I don't think Sweeney has any other ammo to go with. So he just has to pray that this plan works.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Benders Banter presented by Evolve ABA, which offers consulting services from a board-certified behavior analyst to adult day programs, residents of schools, and even businesses using the principles of applied behavior analysis. Evolve ABA is also pleased to offer staff training in collaboration with parents of children with autism and other special needs that are wishing to learn more about the science of applied behavior analysis. To learn more about Evolve ABA, call Sean Daly at 774-823-5016 or go to evolveaba.net. Anybody else feel like we moved the clock ahead 5 hours and not one? Like this day went by like it just felt like we just completely pushed the clock ahead 5 hours instead of one.
Yeah, flew by for sure.
Yeah. Odysseys must win today. No Crosby Malkin. 4 p.m. game against Pittsburgh. Need to start producing road wins. Team looking more and more as advertised in preseason. Hard to play against. Hard finding the back of the net. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how hard to play against they are if they keep coughing up leads.
Yeah.
It's not hard to
That's
score
a good
goals
question.
against.
Like,
not hard to score goals against this team, especially not on the road.
I think the first month of the season or so, or whenever they were in that, good space early on, that they were kind of playing physically and all that. That's a good question. How hard to play against do you think they really are?
Not right now. I don't think the physicality is there. I thought the Penguins were the more physical team today. I didn't really notice Tanner Jeannot flying around throwing hits. I didn't notice Mark Kastelic really at all, other than grabbing that guy's shoulder and spinning him into the net one time. Like, other than that, I didn't really notice those guys. Yeah. So they're supposed to set the tone for you. I didn't see that.
I'm not sure the fourth line has done all that much for 20 games. I just feel like they haven't done much.
Yeah, I didn't see really much of anything from them. So I don't know how hard they are to play against because they're coughing leads up on the road like it's going out of style. Like it's what they're known for right now, is just losing, choking things away on the road.
To me, hard to play against is, like you said, like being real resilient, grinding out road wins. Like we've seen Bruins teams in the past do those things.
Sure. Like
if this team doesn't do that, it's not grinding out any like must-win road game. Like used to be back in the day that, hey, this is going to be a tough one. We're not sure how they're going to win it. And then they win it 4-1 somehow. You know what I mean? Like they win it. And this team doesn't do that. Go ahead, Connor.
I don't think any team is going to show you that they're hard to play against in the regular season. That would really be the only reason I want the Bruins to make the playoffs, is to see what this roster looks like in a playoff atmosphere. I've been watching a lot of the Bruins games on the away broadcast just for the laughs and the giggles of not listening to Judd, but also getting the perspective of the opposite teams. And most other broadcasts all mention the Bruins and their physicality and their toughness. And last week during the Nashville game, they went on a 5-minute rant about how much of a tough out and a hard team the Bruins will be to play against in the postseason when the game changes, and how this team is built to win in the postseason, not necessarily as heavily in the regular season.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's true, but you got to get there. Like you got to get there, and I don't. Right now, it looks like the whole piss and vinegar thing is you still have to have enough talent to kind of pace yourself through the season. You still need to win different ways. You still need contributions from people, and they have had contributions from different people, but their road record is going to kill them. I mean, the road record is going to kill them, and that's to me. If you win 11 games all year on the road, then how dangerous are you in the first round? Like how?
Because you're going to go on the road in the first round.
Yeah,
they're competitive.
Games are going to be on the road.
Yeah, like they try hard, but I don't know how physically this defense actually plays. Like McAvoy will lay a hit and stuff, but he's still a smaller guy. Like Peeke will grind people in front of the net a little bit, but he's not overly physical. Zadorov will. And Asperot's a little guy. Like he'll play physically, but he's a little guy. Lindholm and Lohrei, that's not their game at all. So I don't know how physically this team actually plays. Their forward group outside of the fourth line doesn't really hit. They don't.
They don't. Sebastian Varney says that Vegas had the Bruins season point total at 79.5 to start the year.
Yeah, I mean, they've
overachieved a bit.
No question about it. They've overachieved.
Yeah.
They are playing above their heads collectively, but it's largely because they're getting really good goaltending. Like if you look at the goals saved above expected, Jeremy Swayman is third in the league.
Yeah.
So there's your answer. That's why they're winning games.
Why? What if they make the playoffs and they lose the first round series in 7 games? And it's a good series. They give it everything they have. What's the feeling like after that?
I'll probably be pissed because they probably lost 4 games on the road.
Right.
And I'll that's going to stick in my craw for the rest of the season. Like if they can't win road games the rest of the year, especially after having these 2 games with gigantic leads and pissing it away, like that's going to bug me. It'll probably bug me all off season. Yeah, it should be a good story. It should be a nice story. Like the little engine that gets into the playoffs and takes, one of the best teams in the conference to 7 games. But I'll probably be saying there was probably opportunities for them to probably win the series and they probably didn't come through is what will happen in my head. Because I want them to win. I don't want them to get there. Like getting there, yeah, I guess it's nice for a team like this, but I want them to win. I don't want participation trophies. I want them to win fucking games when it matters. And today's game mattered. I lost. So I'm pissed.
And the Tampa Bay game and this game are 2 that you can just circle. They'd have 78 points right now, and they'd be ahead of Detroit. But Connor, go ahead.
Do you think it's the time of the year for the Bruins to ride Jeremy Swayman again and put Korpisalo back into maybe 1 or 2 games the rest of the year? And I ask this for 2 questions. 1, he's been awful in 4 games in a row, which in the playoffs is going to land most likely on one of your home ice games, which you can't afford to lose.
Right.
And 2, you really can't afford to be losing many more games where Korpisalo falls apart. And if I'm the team or the coaching staff, wouldn't you rather roll your dice on your $8 million player?
It's you know what? You read my mind because I was going to bring this up because after today, I thought, you know what? As we get down toward the end here and the game starts to space out a little more, I would seriously consider playing Swayman more.
Yeah, here's where I've come down on it. If the Bruins aren't playing a back-to-back, Swayman plays.
Yes, me too.
If it's a back-to-back, then you go Korpisalo, Swayman on whatever order you want to. But if it's not a back-to-back, Swayman plays the rest of the way.
Yeah, like he would play all 3 games this week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, if you're gonna go down with the guy that's third in the league with goals saved above expected. Like he might have a stinker or two here and there, but I also saw he's top 5 in the league or whatever in starts with a 900 save percentage or better.
Yeah.
So he's not the fucking problem. As much shit as I give the guy, he's not the problem. He's the reason you're winning games. So play him as much as you fucking can, because the other guy certainly isn't doing a good enough job right now.
Well, he's 70%, like 70% of his starts are quality starts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd put him in there. I mean, Korpisalo is a backup goaltender. He gives up soft goals every once in a while. Every once in a while, he'll have a good game. Every once in a while, he'll make some saves he's made a ton of saves above expected too. But there's also times he gets leaky because he's a backup, and that's who he is, and that's who he has been.
Yeah.
Matthew Curtis, a legitimate contender, blows this Penguins team away. For us, it still feels like a scheduled loss. And the Penguins definitely came out with more energy and outplayed us for large swaths of time. Yeah, I mean, seeing the teams, Bruins have a little bit of trouble with teams who are younger and faster and play with high energy, because that's what the Bruins have right now, is that they play hard. So if another team is faster and has more energy and plays just as hard and has some youth to it, they struggle with those teams sometimes. Columbus.
Absolutely.
But today with Pittsburgh, there's some young guys in there like skating around like crazy. They have a hard time with that. Pasta needed that one bad, says Odyssey. He did. It was nice to see him score. 23 goals now, outside chance of you'd like to see him get to 30. There's an outside chance if he got hot, which sometimes he gets streaky after one. It's an outside chance at 35. But you need to have him be the big goal scorer on the team. You know, you need to get away from him being such a playmaker. Bruins 1970, it's official. Zacha better than Lindholm. Yeah, again, like Zacha is a little younger. He's playing really good hockey right now. If he scores 25 goals, and then you would think that they would really try to get that extension for him. Maybe even this offseason, like extend him and not get to the 11th hour with him. But I don't know. If I'm Zacha and I'm riding high, I'm seeing what's out there. Like he's versatile. He can play wing and center. You know, he's 200 foot. He's a good defensive player. He can put up 55, 60 points. God knows on a really good team what he put up. So, you know, Zacha's a really good player. Dare I say underrated?
Yeah, you can say that.
You can say that.
And because I'm pissed off today, but I'll throw Sweens a bone. Really good trade. Zacha
really good trade. Holler for him.
Trade.
Yes.
Really good trade. And that's for all the people who say we don't give him his fucking flowers when he deserves it. That was a really
actually, honestly, we don't talk about that trade enough.
No, really good trade.
Talking about enough. Connor, go ahead.
Just like how you've talked about getting rid of Taylor Hall, Nick Foligno, Tyler Bertuzzi as kind of cap casualties.
Mm-hmm.
Pavel Zacha was the cap casualty in New Jersey in that deal because he was an RFA who needed a new contract at the time, and Eric Kalla was bought and paid for. So Don got to, hold the gun to Fitzy's head, if you will, in that scenario, and came out on the winning side.
Yeah, that looking back, and Holland's been okay. I mean, he's an okay hockey player. It's not like he's terrible.
He's fine, but the Bruins won that one clearly.
They did clearly. Odysseys, and we still have a 1C, 2C problem. I see Dominican Jesse putting Elias on right wing, inserting Hagens, but I don't know, man. What does he give you other than board battles? He's slow. He doesn't finish great. There's been a ton of plays left on the ice with him. I don't know. I guess he's still pretty good defensively. I don't know how good defensively. I have no idea. I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's this shutdown defensive player. He's fine, but I don't think so. He really struggles. I noticed it today, big time, struggling to skate, struggling to accelerate. A lot of times just kind of standing in a spot or floating around in one little spot. And not really pursuit of the puck, not really like Arvidsson's on it, pursuit of the puck. There's a lot of kind of coasting from Lindholm at times.
Yeah, I like Zacha. I think Zacha gives much better support to the defense. Like comes down low, makes himself available. I don't think Lindholm does that really. He doesn't generate any speed in the defensive end to get the puck out. It's kind of like a chip off the boards or chopping it out of the zone. It's not any kind of fluid, exit from the D zone. So yeah, he'll win faceoffs, but again, that's a third line guy. That's a third line guy. Wins, draws, and chips in a little bit on the power play. That's not what you want from your first line center.
Yeah,
it just isn't. So we'll see what they end up doing. I hope Hagens gets up there with Pastrnak and you let Lindholm maybe play a little bit more defensively. Yes. Leave that second line alone.
Yes,
and you have Minton, Geekie, and
I like that idea. And Hagen's not going to play wings. He's not going to play center. I mean, he might here and there in off some night where he, who knows. But I think for the most part, he's going to be a wing.
Yeah.
Odyssey's play him 4C until he wants out. There should be some pride involved here. And I think it would take until Thanksgiving on a losing team to make him waive his no movement clause. Middle six center, log jam, biggest problem. Problem with that is they're not going to play a $8 million player on the fourth line. So, I don't see that happening, but I think you have to consider trying to move the guy, even if you have to retain some salary. I do. Now, if you want, like somebody said, have Hagens come up and see if he can play with, say, Pastrnak and Hagens, and maybe you can get the most out of him with that group. Sure. But I think within the next year or two, you have to seriously consider trying to get out from under that contract. Like, you think he looks this way now? What the hell is he going to look like in 3 years? So
yeah, it's a bad contract. It has been the day it was signed.
It was a bad contract. Smitty was on here like he grinded his teeth off his fucking face. Like he was like, this contract sucks. This guy's a 40-point player. And how do we see that? Like, we don't know much of anything.
We really don't.
But, and we know some. We watch a lot of Bruins hockey over the years, but we know some. But we don't know nearly everything. But we saw that fucking thing a mile away. How do people not see that? Like, how do they not see that?
I didn't
hear another team in that bid either.
No. I think that comes back again to Sweeney trying to force feed a guy into a role that he has already defined. Like, this is the type of player we're looking for. We're looking for a Patrice Bergeron type. And they said Elias Lindholm is a Patrice Bergeron type. With some offensive ability. He had it before. Maybe if he plays with Pastrnak, he can recreate that thing. And I think that's what he saw. And he's like, well, you need to get the player. And they overextended themselves to bring the player in.
They did.
Bidding against themselves, where I think if they had given the guy, $5 million times 5, they probably could have got him anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know what he was making previously. So he might have been making a little more than that. So I guess you got to give the guy a raise, or whoever has to pay him has to give him a raise. But I would have been fine if it wasn't the Bruins.
I think that they were searching for answers at 1C or top 6 center.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, this guy kind of looks like Patrice Bergeron. He can kind of fit that kind of mold. Be that type of player, not Bergeron, obviously, but that type of player.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And they loved him for a while anyway. So all that came together for this terrible contract. And it's just bad.
And he had a really good playoffs for Vancouver right before that, which they
right in the sweet spot. Yeah.
I mean, that hurts them. Just like it hurt him with the Matt Bolesky thing. Matt Bolesky had a great playoffs, and then they signed a guy to a ridiculous contract. And then we're trying to get rid of that thing almost immediately.
Yes.
So we're in the same boat right now with this thing. Again, I like the player okay. He's just paid way too much money.
Yes, he is. And it's hard to argue that. I don't know who could argue that.
He's a third line center. If he's your 3C, I think you're doing okay.
You're fine. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah,
but
you're fine. Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. However many 5 more years of that.
Yeah, that's too many.
Holy shit.
Too many.
So according to stats, the Zacha Middlestat RB line is second best line in 5-on-5 in the league. When Hagens comes up, do you risk breaking that lineup? No, I want Hagens on the top line. The last 10 games or whatever that he's plays with the Bruins at the end of this year, I think you put him right with Pastrnak and Lindholm, and you see what that looks like for 10 games.
So apparently BC plays Saturday night. There's been some rumblings that the game might be moved to Friday, but Hockey East, BC Maine, Friday night, 7:00. If he loses that game, you'll probably see him sign his ELC the next day. So by Sunday, a week from today, James Hagens might be a Boston Bruin, depending on what happens in that game.
Sure. And Andre Gasol might be a Providence Bruin.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens with Oscar Jelvik.
Yeah.
Who knows? Korpi cannot take a shot without leaving rebounds. Most rebound goalie out there, says Odyssey. He does give up a lot of rebounds.
Yeah.
There's a lot of looking around like I don't know where the puck is. I'm laying on my belly and hoping. How about the one near the post where he makes a great skate save?
Yeah.
Then it comes back to a skate, pops up in the air, and I don't know how that thing doesn't go in. And he's laying on his stomach.
Pastrnak saved a goal there on a Chari. Yeah.
Yes, he did. Korpi turning back into a pumpkin. Well, Severed Soul, you're right, but I think this is kind of what Korpi is. He'll play a good one here or there, and you think, okay, like he can play, every third game, and then he just doesn't. He's a
backup.
Below average backup.
Yeah, I mean he's streaky. That's what you get out of a backup goalie.
Yeah.
And they have to play better in front of him. Like they didn't play good in front of him tonight.
They do. They have to lock that thing down in front.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be a better defensive effort especially when he's in there. But just in general, like they have to play better in front of their goalies and make it easier on them. It's tough to face, a breakaway, and Erik Karlsson bearing down on you. And I'm not saying they were lucky today that it wasn't a flat out loss, but they were pretty leaky at times. Like the Penguins hit 2 or 3 posts.
They did
also. So it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
Yeah. When it went 3-3, I'm like, I see them lose this game 7-3.
Yeah.
Like I just had this feeling the wheels were going to come off. So at least they didn't do that thing.
Yeah, I mean when Zacha scored the hat trick goal, it was the first time I've actually yelled, like in excitement for a goal of theirs in a while. No, but seriously, usually I'm watching, I'm like, whatever, they're winning or losing, but that one because they had pissed it away and then they scored, and that was a big goal at the time. I yelled. I think I scared my wife because she was doing something in a different room, but. I was the first time I was actually like pumped, like excited, and then of course they give it away, minutes later.
Yeah. Team Roadkill, says Rogazi. Matthew Curtis, I'm so fucking beside myself. Terrible loss. You guys suck, says Severed Soul. This team doesn't deserve playoff hockey. Andrew Peterkin, 3-goal lead, flushed down the toilet. Fuck off. Odyssey's really shitty game for me.
These are my people right here.
Yeah, that sounds like Smitty. 3-goal lead blown. Fuck off.
I tried to put them all together. Bing, 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 bing.
Bing, bing, bing. Really shitty game from McAvoy, summed up in the last OT sequence. Panicking as a puck carrier, giving that one away. Shaz Diet, what a fucking choke job. Odysseys, 3 down. McAvoy, Korpi, Aspero, up, Zacha. That's foreshadowing right there, Odysseys.
Yeah.
Zach Hayes, at least we didn't blow 2 points. What a fucking choke job. DKJ Barry, Korpi is done. I don't need to see anymore. Bring up DiPietro. I think DiPietro signed for next year. I think he signed a 2-year deal.
I believe he did.
He's here for next year. Sebastian Varney, Tanner Janot needs to watch some games in street clothes. Brings nothing to the lineup except for an occasional punch in the face. Well, that's what he is. But he makes 3.8?
3.4.
Jesus.
I think. 3.4. I think it was 3.4 over 5 years.
5 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Sebastian Varney. Zadorov clearly hurt. Shadow of himself since he hurt the knee in Montreal. He might be dinged up for sure. I mean,
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is.
He's probably grinding it out.
Yeah.
Sure.
And who knows with McAvoy? Like McAvoy was an awkward thing in the corner there. Like he wasn't playing great before that.
Yeah.
But he was better before that for sure. So he might have been dinged up by that thing as well. What do you got?
He's been through a time.
DiPietro is signed for an extra season, and what is unique about his contract that I've never noticed before is his contract's a full one-way contract, so he's getting paid the same 800 and something change in the AHL as well.
Okay, interesting.
And that goes against
probably how they kept him here.
Yeah, that's probably is how they kept him here.
No, that does not go against the cap because he's in the AHL, and anything under 1.25 million can be buried and not count against the cap.
Okay.
But he still makes the same money in the AHL.
So it's just they were willing to pay him the cash.
Yeah.
Essentially, without hurting the team's salary cap situation or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's probably how they kept him here.
Yeah. Right. Shaz Diet starting to question Sturm as a coach in a stupid hybrid system as it doesn't work on the road. Yeah, I mean, there's been times when it's looked okay and times where it hasn't. You know, could be specific teams, could be specific styles of teams, and I don't know, but it's something that they have to figure out in the offseason, figure out what they want to do, and the personnel behind it. See, here's the thing: when he comes in, and you largely have the same personnel you just had. And you decide on a system, you have to consider what your personnel is. So not every system is going to work with the personnel you have. So you have to determine like who in this group is going to be able to play that style and who isn't. And those guys need to go. You need to find replacements for those guys. So that's what I don't love about a brand new system with a roster that's in place is that some of these guys just probably can't do it. So what happens then?
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I'll tell you, if they sign Andrew Peeke again, then I question what you're doing.
Yeah, look, I think it is that falls kind of on the general manager. Like I think coaches in the NHL have a system, and they have a way they want to play defensively, a way they want to play offensively, and it's up to the general manager to bring guys in or ship guys out that don't fit that thing.
Yeah.
And if Sweeney's looking to extend Andrew Peeke, who doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with guys, one-on-one, that's a mistake. If you're not looking to move a guy like Hampus Lindholm, who doesn't have the foot speed anymore, that's a mistake. So they need to be able to adjust to what the roster is or move those guys off the roster. And look, I don't love the system because I think there's too many times where maybe a guy's going behind the net and the guy's, trying to stay with him one-on-one. And then when he goes to the other side of the net, the low defenseman on that side is supposed to pick him up. Well, right. You have a guy that's chasing him behind the net. And then all of a sudden he's got to jam the brakes on and get to where that guy was to cover his guy.
Yeah.
On the pass-offs in that system, like if people can move the puck quick, you're going to give up chances. And that's what they do. They give up chances, or they're too slow on the exchange, or they don't communicate the exchange, and somebody gets a step on somebody else, and then it's a chance.
Yeah,
so
how many times have
chances either way?
Yeah.
So I really think they're better off playing the thing they were doing before that was like a zone defense, essentially, where it was like McAvoy's got low left, you have the low right, whatever it is. And, just stay in your area and guard the guys who come into your area.
Yeah, and the Chychrun play yesterday was a prime example. Like he's up top, and Steves can't stay with him, so he turns that corner. Once you turn that corner, you've got a chance. You've got some ice to go make a play, and that happened with that goal yesterday against Steves. Like he's there, he's trying to stay with him. Too much space to handle Chychrun, who's a far better player.
Better skater, And Brick used to talk about it all the time. In the old system, there were layers. So like if you beat a guy, there was another guy there at the bottom of the circle that could defend. But there's not that anymore. Like if you get beat one-on-one now, your guy gets to the front of the net. It happened 2 or 3 times, I think, against Hampus Lindholm down low in the right wing circle where the guy cut back and then just accelerated by him and got right to the front of the net. Like it happened a bunch of times. I think Korpisalo made the saves, but then there's a scrum in front and all hell breaks.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know if they have the personnel to really play that thing. And I would like to see them kind of scrap it and go back to the way they were playing defense when they were one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Right. And if Sturm isn't really comfortable coaching that, that's a problem.
Sure is.
Because anybody, like in any sport, offensive coordinators like to do a certain thing, defensive coordinators, basketball coaches, hockey coaches. Typically, you're a coach. You have the things you coach well. You don't coach everything well. I don't know if there's anybody out there in any sport that coaches everything well. You can get by with things, but you have what's comfortable for you. So if that's the case, then Sturm isn't the guy to do. I don't know if Sturm's the guy to do that. Go ahead, Connor.
When it comes to roster construction and building a team that plays your style, we also have to consider that the Boston Bruins this offseason only have 2 players to re-sign, Viktor Arvidsson and Andrew Peeke. Would you assume, just a quick yes or no on this one, that if James Higgins comes in and plays well, that they would not re-sign Arvidsson and he would likely take that spot on the roster?
I think they still will re-sign Arvidsson because he's one of Sturm's guys. Okay. I've thought that all along, so I still think that.
I mean, I think they're going to try, but from what Arvidsson said that you said yesterday, I don't know. There comes a point where you just don't want to sign him to a certain contract. You know what I mean? It's been a nice story. He's a nice player, and he's been good and leader and had a nice year for them. Really nice. It was actually a really good get for this type of team. But you also have to know when to cut bait. And I don't know what he's going to want from them.
And here's why I'm leading you down that direction. If Higgins or somebody else internally is able to fill that Arvidsson slot, not even saying his slot specifically, but if there's other juggles in the roster, you only have one other position to re-sign, which is on the defense, and you would have about $17 million to do it. And I don't know about you, but I could think of one unrestricted free agent defenseman this offseason who you could probably sign with that much money.
Yeah, I'd go after Quinn Hughes myself. Sure.
Oh my God, yeah. And with McAvoy and him playing together with the US and all that, maybe you can convince him to play with McAvoy. Maybe McAvoy can convince him. I don't know. Will they invest that type of money in somebody? Doubt it. But I mean, if I had to get rid of Hampus Lindholm and bring in Quinn Hughes, then that buys you some more money, then I would seriously consider that, of course.
They should. They should go after Quinn Hughes. If he's available to go after, they should go after him. There's no doubt in my mind. Look, you need help. You've been a team that has struggled to generate offense from your defense. That's been a thing the last 2-3 years. So yeah, 100%. And here's the other thing: if you can't get an elite forward, get an elite defenseman. You just need elite players overall. And you've seen what he's been able to do in Minnesota in the short time he's been there. So, that's a no-brainer to me, is going after a guy like that. No-brainer.
And maybe you have a little bit of an end with the McAvoy pairing. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? McRack, my question is, we have players like DiPietro, who leads the AHL in goals against and is 26-6. And Brene has 11-17 for 38 and plus 15. That should have been the trade deadline ads. Yeah, I think you're going to see Brene get every chance to make the team next year. I don't know what that means for fucking Lohrei. I don't know. He might be gone too.
They've been playing Lohrei a little bit on his offside. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer. To me, and I know this sounds crazy, but I would try Brune with McAvoy. Like, you've done the Aspro thing with McAvoy, and maybe that's Brune's spot.
Sure.
Interesting
stat from Lohrei today: 18-24 of ice time. He was +1, a shot, 2 blocked shots, and a hit. 18-24.
I didn't think he was terrible today. I did.
He was
I thought
fine.
the McAvoy Aspero pairing was bad,
Yeah.
and I didn't think Zadorov and Peeke were particularly good. But he was decent. He was fine today.
Lohrei was pretty good. Lohrei was pretty good. And then RD King. What's your opinion on Sweeney getting rid of Swayman? Use that money in other places. We can get any goalie to play at this point. Yeah, there's been this debate about this lately. Swayman's obviously his numbers, particularly in quality starts and so forth, and in goals, saves above expected, are much better this year. And if you do get rid of him, the old you can throw anybody in there thing is kind of a stretch. Like that's so. Look, I'm not the biggest Swayman guy, and I think they paid him too much money. I think, I don't think he's an 8.25 goaltender. I think he's a $6.5, $7 million goaltender, whatever. So is that circumcising a mosquito? Maybe, I don't know, but I don't love it. I don't really love him, but if he plays like this and you can shore up your defense, then I think you're in much better shape, and you won't be so hell-bent on trying to get rid of him if your defense is better and it gives him a chance to show what he can do. But again, I don't love it. I don't love the guy. I don't love his contract. I don't love how it happened. I don't love any of that.
Yeah, I don't love any of that either. I don't love the holdout. I don't love how it happened. I think he gets paid too much money. I don't like his personality, really. Well, not necessarily personality. The way he talks to the media, I don't love that thing. But he's the best you have, and he's one of the better goalies out there when he gets support from the defense. So I don't think you can just throw in anybody and say we'll be successful. Like ask Edmonton, they're still looking for a goaltender. Ask Philadelphia, ask some of these other teams that have been hunting for goaltenders for a long time. I don't think you just give a guy away to give him away. If you want to save some money in the goaltending position, get rid of the backup, get rid of Korpisalo and his $3 million and make that DiPietro and his $900,000 or whatever Connor said it was.
Yeah, you can save that. Yeah.
So now you have two guys, you're only paying $9 million, which is, or $9 and some change, which is fine.
Much more palatable.
Yeah. So save a little money in that area and you keep Swayman, and then you have, a guy who's a backup. Like Swayman's supposed to be the number one guy. He should be playing, a little bit more. And, I think you have a capable guy in DiPietro or Kavalin or whatever the hell his name is. Like, I think either one of those guys could fill in, from time to time and give you what Korpisalo is giving you. So, to me, I think that's where you make the savings. And I think you'd be sorry if you got rid of Swayman and had somebody else in there and you had to watch that every night. I think you'd be sorry.
Yeah. Dan Maynard says, if Sway had kept up the pace from 2024 playoffs, would his contract be fine? Or do you think it would still be a shit contract? I think it'd be fine. I mean, we said that when he signed the contract after all that nonsense. You better be good. You better be really good.
Right.
He wasn't last year.
Yeah.
This year he's better.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can keep up that pace. He had like a 9.3 something.
Yeah, I mean, that's not over the course of a year.
Pace over a course of a year.
Right. That's right. And you know what? There still hasn't been that next time in the playoffs. So maybe he's just like Bennington. He steps up in the playoffs. Maybe. Maybe the next time. Let's see what the next postseason look like. If they make it this year, let's see what he looks like in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if he's really good, then I'll probably back off on that thing.
Yeah.
So that's just common sense. Sway is good, but not elite. He's good for 5 out of 6, but we'll have 7, 9, 8 bad games a year. Yeah, he's had, half dozen to 8 bad games or whatever it is. And when it goes south, it goes south. But
yeah, when he's bad, he's really bad, but he still is one of the better goalies at, percentage of games with over 900. Like it's out there. It's a stat. It's fact. It's not a lie. He is one of the better goalies in the league with, continuously going above 900. What do you got, Connor?
In the 23-24 playoffs, Swayman played 12 games. He had a 2.15 goals against and a .933 save percentage in 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's good.
Good.
That's good. So if you get that Swayman again in the playoffs, maybe you say he's a playoff performer. Maybe that's
one of the things that made Rask really great and Thomas is that they had defensive teams that were always top 5 and shots allowed and all that. That was really helpful to them. I think Rask is really talented, but he did have that defensive concept from the team that kept the shots away and kept his vision and everything. It was much better defensive hockey. So if you do that for Swayman, I think it's probably fine. I do. As much as I really don't love the guy, I think it's fine. So you need to get to there. And if you get to there, I think some of this goes away with Swayman. Every once in a while when he coughs it up, we'll swear at him.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and here's another thing, just going back to goaltending and the defense and the system and all that. Maybe part of it is Jay Leach. We haven't brought this up. He's brought in and he's supposed to be coaching that thing. He hasn't been, the defense hasn't been good since he got here. Kind of like Chris Kelly with the power play. Can we get the guy that coaches the defense poorly off coaching the defense? We've had a poor defensive team now for 3 or 4 years. Can we have that guy not coach defense anymore? Can we have somebody else do that thing? Just like we took Chris Kelly off the power play and whoa, magic. We put a guy there who knows what he's doing and the power play is good again. Can we take the guy off the defense, that knows how to, and put a guy there who knows how to actually coach that thing?
Yeah, we go from 25th to 5th or whatever in power play.
Can we do that thing? Can we put a competent coach to coach the fucking system or coach whatever his system is?
Bruins 1970 says better off with Steve Leach.
Yeah, we would be better off with Steve Leach.
Well, that speaks to the whole coaching concept we just talked about.
Yes.
Sturm comes in with his system, and he has to teach it to Jay Leach, who then has to teach it to grown men. So is that what you want? Can you get a guy who's coached this concept too, and just send Jay Leach? This is what bugs me about it. Is he probably had to learn the system just like everybody else. So it's like Matt Patricia coaching offense. You got to learn it on the fly.
Yeah.
I don't love that. That's coaches who believe in your philosophy.
That's why I want the coach to be able to bring his own guys in.
Yes.
They allowed it with Spot, but not with the defense.
Yeah.
Because the defense has been so great under the current regime. Come on, boys. Figure it out. Everybody else can see it. Why can you not see it? Just because everybody wants to be family and Jay Leach probably has 2 lovely dogs. So we got to keep him on the coaching staff.
Catherine Tappan will be fucking pissed.
Well, I mean, she doesn't work for Nesson anymore. If she still worked for Nesson, then fine.
Then we'd have an issue.
But otherwise, let's move on from the guy. What do you got, Craig?
This is going to sound pretty sad, but I bet you it is all contract related. Leach came in the middle of the Monty regime.
He did.
And was a new addition.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be assumed that his contract would have been longer than those fellas. And maybe if the Bruins are bad again this season, maybe that was in Sweeney's plans. We can fire some people who are at the end of their contract, quote, fire them, just not renew their contracts, and off you go. You're making changes.
I hope so.
PR.
Yeah.
I hope so. He's a PR guy. He's a word vomit spin guy. So yeah, let's do that thing. Let's fire some people that contracts are up anyways. Sure.
I'll say this. This could be Sturm comes in first year, feels it all out.
Yeah.
And then they make some significant changes in the offseason. That would make sense to me.
It would make sense to me too. Sure.
But I don't see anything making sense to me in the offseason. I don't foresee it.
Donnie does. I can tell you that much. Just like fucking.
Exactly.
I went on last show and talked about how Jaffe went on his rant about how they're definitely doing something in the offseason. When I rewatched the Sweeney conference, he said that there's a lot of talk out there, a lot of things that are too complicated, can't be done right now. expect a lot of things to be happening in the off season. He even said it himself.
Okay.
I dare you, anybody who didn't get a chance to go listen, it is on the Boston Bruins YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You should give it a go. It's less than 20 minutes.
Yeah. You should definitely listen to it so that when none of that stuff happens in the off season, he said, and he gives you the spin that we were close on everything, but it just didn't materialize like this trade deadline, then you can laugh in his face. So yeah, you should go and watch it. And write down all the lines of bullshit that he feeds you, and then come back and call him on it when it doesn't happen next season.
Do it, and then come back here and we'll bitch about it.
Yeah,
great.
Optimistic Smitty's alive and kicking.
Oh yeah.
All right, 3 up, 3 down. Up. The only up is the Zacha line. Like that line is the up. They've been the up for a while. And Zacha and Arvidsson are putting themselves a little bit of chemistry together. They've put together a nice year for each other. And both of them are going to cash in. One this year, one next.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Up. Yeah. Down. Apricots. McAvoy. Korpisalo. Boom, boom, boom. There you go.
And a few more.
Yeah. Put them in any order you want. Doesn't matter.
Jay Leach.
Yeah. Put him in. We'll throw Jay Leach in there. We'll throw playing road games in there. If you have a road game, it's down. I don't know. The whole team is down, in my opinion, because you have to start winning road games. You have to.
You do. I don't know if you guys heard this, but a fucking train came.
We did hear it.
It went by my ear.
I thought Eileen was just blowing a train whistle in the background.
Yeah, I thought Maddie was at the recent Bonnie Blue event. Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus. That thing was humming, too.
Yeah.
Dangerously close. Looking ahead. March 10th versus the Los Angeles Kings on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
What do you got for that one?
4-2 Kings.
Okay. Quentin Byfield with fucking 2 goals.
No, I think the bread man scores a few.
Man sticks it up here. Where are the Kings? The Kings are close, aren't they? Aren't they in?
They're down a bunch of guys. Like they're down Kuzmenko. I think Byfield might be banged up. Maybe he's coming back soon. Okay. They lost Fiala in the Olympics, so they're down.
That's right, broken leg.
Yeah, so they're down some guys, but they'll probably come here and win because every team that's down guys beats your ass.
Yeah,
they're 3 points out of a wild card spot and hungry.
Yeah, so they'll be desperate. They'll come in and beat your ass. Because
and
then San Jose is 1 point out of us. So both teams will be hungry.
Yeah, desperate hockey.
Yeah.
So, you're losing one of these next 2. No doubt in my mind. You're losing one of these next 2. Even though you're great at home, you've won, 12 or 13 in a row at home. You're going to lose one of these next 2, for sure.
Hockey Talk says, I live near a train, and I thought that was outside my house. Yeah. It might have been. Let's see. All right. So, I'm going to say the Bruins win. I'm going to say the Bruins win.
Good.
Fucking 4-1.
They should win.
And they're going to beat the Sharks at home, and they're going to keep stringing this thing along. And St. Patty's night at Montreal.
This is like upside down today. You're all Mr. Positive.
I am. I don't want to be typecast as, someone call us idiots on YouTube. I want to, turn the tide a little bit. Connor, go ahead.
The Bruins better beat the Kings. They're on a back-to-back against Columbus and Boston.
Okay. Well, hope so.
You're hoping for a real strong game tomorrow, Monday. Yep. They have a 3 p.m. game in Columbus for whatever reason. Real odd. I think that's to do with
it's a
reschedule. Yeah,
it is.
Game. Yeah. And then they come to Boston Tuesday night. So you're hoping for a great matinee tomorrow. Woohoo, go Kings. And then fuck the Kings on Tuesday night, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. That loss of an hour did regain my positivity, Eileen. I'm a changed man. I'm, it's like the atmosphere, like something shook. I'm a different guy now.
Yeah. I think that happened to me in the reverse.
I think it was the breakfast bagels.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, they're pretty fucking good. One last one. Matthew Curtis, any chance Pasta had some insight as to what Sweeney was going to do or not going to do before the deadline, and that's why he's been skating like he doesn't give a fuck. I think he's dinged up. I think he's banged up. Pastrnak played, Say we will about Pastrnak, but he gives his all. He's given a lot. Like he wants to win and all that stuff.
He shows up every night.
He does. He's banged up, and what I don't know is what he really thinks about the direction of the team and what I wonder if he's apprehensive. I wonder if he's kind of wondering what's going on, and maybe it all makes sense in the off season, but I wonder if he's wondering what's going on. And if they are going to a true youth thing, then how old is he going to be when those guys are ready to go?
Yeah, you wonder how he feels about all that.
You have to wonder about that. But we'll see. And Andre Gassot will probably sign an ELC. Philip Vedback, the goaltender with Providence College, he'll be graduated. We'll see what happens there.
I think Providence. I think they're the number 1 seed in Hockey East. I think.
They'll be the number 1 seed in Hockey East. But I wonder if he, if the Bruins sign him to an ELC,
because I think somebody else was playing when Providence went on their run. So I don't even know if he's getting the net that much right now.
That's great.
When he got hurt, Providence brought a guy out of the ECHL back to the NCAA and put him in net, and he went on a fantastic run.
Yeah. So I think I'm not sure he's playing really right now. Yeah. So I don't know if the Bruins will sign him. So
I don't know.
There's some interesting stuff to see what happens here in the next.
They have some contracts open too, so I don't know who they'll be signing. Yeah. Or if there's a college free agent in there, there's always that thing, always that possibility. That never pan out, but whatever. Hey, thanks for a great night. Bruins lose in overtime, 5-4, lose a point, still in a playoff spot. We'll be back at it Tuesday. This week it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday for your Benders.
Yeah. All sunshine and rainbows this week coming up.
Just keep it positive.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if they're still in it, St. Patty's Day, and they beat Montreal, they're in it. They're in a spot, and they beat Montreal. I'm going to be green.
Yeah.
Green.
Can't wait.
Dinner was amazing, Eileen. Chicken. I woofed down some chicken marsala right before I came here.
Me too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
It was delicious.
So good.
Yeah.
Delicious. All right. Let's do it again Tuesday. As always, go Boston Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye.